I'm gonna ruin your life.
Why?
There was this girl who was just super awful, always being mean to somebody, always starting rumors, and this one girl got it the worst. They were on the basketball team together and the softball team together, and this mean girl was always making stuff up about her. Kayla said she hates your coaching style.
What?
Kayla said she thinks you're the worst player on the team. She's the worst! And people were confronting her. The coaches punished her for this, and people on her team hated her.
I didn't say any of those things.
But nobody really believed her, and she knew who was behind this. Krista. Then sophomore year starts. Kayla has geometry class with Krista, and Krista starts becoming super friendly. Hey, what's up, Kayla? How you doing today?
Fine.
She sits next to her every day,
Laughing at all her jokes? You're hilarious.
and then one day before class, Krista says, hey, can I please see your homework from last night? I didn't do mine. I'm just gonna copy your answers down really quick. And that's when it clicks. Krista's failing geometry, and she wants the answers. She wants to pass, so for a few weeks, Kayla lets her copy off her. Yeah, sure, that's totally fine. Then one day, Kayla realizes she's done. They had a really big important take-home exam that Krista didn't do, but Kayla knew she was gonna ask for the answers, so she had 2 copies. The other one, she wrote everything down wrong on purpose. And when Krista asked for the answers, she let her copy the wrong one.
What? Kayla, we failed.
No, you failed. I got an A. Now that's karma. So this girl, Amy, she's 15, straight up running a business at her school. Like it's a full-on operation. She buys the snacks and drinks in bulk. She breaks them up and sells them individually at a markup. Classic black market school economy. She's been doing this for 2 years now, and she's not out here just hoarding the cash that she makes. She's buying stuff. She's using her profits to buy clothes, shoes, whatever she wants. She doesn't ask her parents for money, she earns it. And her mom, well, her mom is like, I mean, yeah, why would I stop her? You know, she's not selling anything illegal, her grades are fine, and I haven't had to buy her anything in months. I'm really proud of her. But the school? Oh no. They catch her and a few other snack dealers and boom, week of detentions. And they warn her, one more time and you're suspended. Please, okay? Now the dad's losing his mind. No, honey, this is serious, okay? She's risking her education. She needs to be grounded. And the mom's like, grounded for what? Capitalism? Like, for real, what are we doing here, you guys, you know? She's not disrupting class, she's not failing. In fact, she's doing better than she has before. She's not pushing anything shady. She's just really good at business. The mom says this, the school's obviously making something out of nothing. It's not like she's slinging crank behind the vending machines. And honestly, I get it. I understand, like, rules are rules, but let's be real here. Half these schools don't teach the kids anything useful anyways. Good for her, for respecting her own hustle. And if that was my school, I'd be asking for her supply chain. Big ups to Amy. What is this?
Oh, you weren't supposed to see that.
So this one teacher, she always had a little black notebook on her desk. Said it was for classroom notes. Everybody assumed it meant grades or it was like a behavior log. No one thought twice, but it wasn't that. It was a burn book. Straight up page after page, trashing her students, all by name. One kid was labeled future con artist. One was 5th period manipulator, crybaby. One entry said, can't read social cues. Parents are either clueless or stupid. Like real crazy stuff. And nobody knew until parent-teacher conferences. One mom is sitting down at this teacher's desk for the meeting. The teacher had been flipping through some papers before and left the tiny little notebook open without even realizing it. She gets up and she says, 1 second, I think I left your son's quiz folder in the copy room. I'll be right back. She leaves. The mom's sitting there, waiting. She glances at the teacher's desk, and she sees her kid's name at the top of a page of a tiny notebook. Manipulative, fake with adults, should be bullied, total snake? What is this? She flips a page, another student, then another. There's tons of students being roasted in this little notebook by the teacher. She goes to the hallway and flags the parents in who are waiting for their time slot for the conference. By the time the teacher walks back in, all these parents are huddled around her desk reading this little black notebook. She was caught, red frickin' handed. All the teacher could say was this, conferences are over. She grabs a little notebook, puts it in her purse, and she leaves the room. And suddenly that teacher is on leave. And she's the stupid one, because the moment you write stuff down like that, you better be prepared for somebody to read it. And they did. That's nuts.
I want to be a bird when I grow up.
She was in 1st grade, and she really wanted to be a bird when she grew up. She thought about it every single day. Well, one morning, during lunch at school, she noticed these red bumps on her arms and her neck. And she whispers to herself, it's happening. It's happening. She thought her transformation to a bird was happening right then and there, and she was sitting down preparing for feathers to pop out of her skin. She then freaks out and grabs the nearest teacher.
Mrs. Johnson?
Sweetheart, what is wrong?
I'm just a kid. I don't want to become a bird yet.
What? The teacher had no idea what that meant.
I have no idea what that means.
The nurse gets called, mom gets called. Turns out she was allergic to something she ate during lunch, and it was pretty bad. She had to be rushed to the hospital. That's crazy. Let's be honest, none of you are going anywhere in life.
What?
Yo, that's messed up. So on this day, this teacher was already at her limit. Kids were talking in class, someone was playing Subway Surfers at full volume, and she snaps. She turns to the class and she says this. You know what, guys? It's clear that you do not want to learn, and let's be real. None of you are going anywhere in life anyway. The whole room freezes. People were shocked. Did she really just say that? Well, one kid stood up, and without hesitation, he says this. Clearly, you didn't go anywhere in life either. At this point, the class is losing it. She hits him with this. Sir, excuse me, you have no room to speak. You are literally failing my class. And that's when he ends her with this. Yeah, and you've been teaching this class for 19 years. You eat yogurt for lunch, still drive a 2006 Toyota Corolla, and you cry in the parking lot before second period. So I'm sorry, who's really failing here? A kid flips a chair. Oh my God. The bell rang, these students are going absolutely insane. She stands there frozen. She has no idea what the heck to do. And then as he's about to leave the classroom, he looks at her and says this. Hey, from now on, shut your mouth and let me fail in peace. See you tomorrow. And he left the room. That's absolutely crazy. What kind of club are you running here? The best kind. One day at this one school, this student figured out that you don't need a teacher sponsor to start a club. All you had to do was fill out a form, write a purpose, and show that there was student interest. This one kid, he invented a club that he called the Indoor Nature Appreciation Society. He said it was for students who loved nature but hated going outdoors. He made posters with stock photos of trees and waterfalls. He took fake meeting photos with his friends. He even listed fake officers. President, himself. Vice President, also himself. He submitted the paperwork and nobody questioned it. A week later, the club got approved. A month later, it got funded. A $500 budget. He spent all of this money on snacks, custom t-shirts, a giant banner with a fake logo, and a director's chair for himself for some reason. After a while, the principal pulled him aside and said, "There's no way this is a real club." He just shrugged and said, "I mean, we do appreciate nature, just from a distance." The best part is he would schedule actual events called observation hours. This is where they would drag 5 or more chairs and put it in front of a big window in the library. And they would all just sit there for 45 minutes, looking out the window. Look, a bird. Oh, nice catch. The principal, who was already suspicious, came by. Okay, what exactly is this? Shh, we're appreciating. Yeah, eventually the club got shut down, but the t-shirts? They wore those almost every day for the rest of the year. So this school let seniors submit quotes for their yearbook photos. Most people pick stuff like, "Thanks, Mom," or "most likely to be a Riz God." You know, stuff like that. But this one senior, the kid who was always kind of getting in trouble, submitted this quote. He wanted his quote to say, "At least I'm not the principal." Apparently, this kid and the principal had some long-standing beef. Everybody thought it was going to get flagged. Edited out. There was no way it makes it in the yearbook. Except, it did. His quote was in the yearbook, "At least I'm not the principal." The yearbook got delivered, people started flipping through, and then they found it. Page 142, bottom row, there he is. It blew up. People were taking pictures of it and posting on their social media. It was like a monument, a meme in this school. The next day, the principal calls him down to the office. "So you are not walking at graduation." "What? It was just a joke." "Yeah, a joke. At my expense. Actions have consequences, I'm sorry." That sucked. Yes, he was still graduating, but he wasn't allowed to walk at the ceremony. But this is the epic part. Fast forward a few weeks to graduation day. And obviously this kid doesn't walk, but his friends do. And under their gowns, they're all wearing t-shirts that say, "At least I'm not the principal." And when their name was called and they would get up there, they would unzip and show the t-shirt. Oh my God. Whew. Best prank ever. There was a rumor that a kid at this school wasn't allowed to take tests. What? quizzes, no exams, no finals, nothing. At first, everyone thought he was faking it, like, okay bro, test anxiety isn't a personality, get over it. But then the truth came out. This kid barely talked to anybody. No backpack, no pencil case, just showed up, sat down, and left. And every time there was a test, he was suddenly gone, like clockwork. People started making jokes like, he's got a medical exemption from Scantrons, or he's so smart they don't need to test him. But then one day a teacher slipped up. She was handing back test scores and looked straight at him and said, "Oh right, you don't take these." And he just nodded like it was completely normal. Turns out his dad was one of the district lawyers. And a few years back, the school messed up his IEP so badly that his family sued. IEP stands for Individualized Education Program. Well, like I said, his family sued, and they won. And part of the settlement, he didn't have to take any standardized tests until graduation. So yeah, the rumor was real. He had a real legal pass to never take a test ever again. This kid ran a pop-up shop in his school. Not every day, not on a schedule, just randomly. One week he would show up with bags of candy. Next week he would have a pair of shoes he outgrew, and some Pokemon cards. One week he had a Bluetooth speaker, 2 Jimmy John subs he didn't eat that he got the day before, a Labubu, a brand new pencil case, and king-size Kit Kat bars. And whenever he decided, today's the day, his friends knew the drill. Their job was to take the printed out sheets and to paste them all around the school. These posters would say stuff like, pop-up store, band hallway, 12:15 p.m. No items, no prices, it's just a mystery, so people would show up, and they would wonder what he had that day. He'd open his backpack, he would lay everything out on the floor in front of him, like a frickin' street vendor, and he would just begin selling these things. Candy gone, shoes sold, Labubus flying off the shelf. When the inventory ran out, he would pack up and go back to class or something. He would tear the posters down, and he would disappear until the next random day that he felt like doing this. He made $350 in 3 weeks, until the principal finally connected the dots, saw the poster one day, went to the meeting spot, and shut this all down for good. But hey, you gotta respect the hustle. One Saturday morning, this kid's at a grocery store with his mom. They shop a bit, and now they're in the cashier line. "Oh, sweetie, I forgot to get a gallon of milk. Can you go get one for me, please?" "Sure, Mom." It's a simple job, so he goes, he gets the milk, and he's jogging back to the cashier. Well, right when he gets there, he trips, the jug falls out of his hand, and the milk spills everywhere. Under carts, onto shoes, people are so mad, he has no idea how to respond to this. This kid has anxiety. So what he does is he gets down on all fours, and he tries to scoop it up. But why would that work? He has nowhere to put it. Then this kid freaks out, and he tries to lick it off the floor like he's a friggin' house cat. His mom was so stunned, she couldn't even speak. Finally, this old guy came over. He had a mop. "Kid, move. I'll clean the milk." Mom was so embarrassed, she didn't even buy anything. She left all of her items at the belt, and she left the store with her kid. That's wild. Yo, why is Tyler working in the hallway? Because democracy is brutal. So this one teacher had a rough week. The class was loud all week, no one listened to her, it was a total chaos week. Friday comes around, and instead of teaching, she says, "Clearly something's wrong with this class dynamic, so let's fix it." She pulls out a stack of paper slips, passes them around, and says, "I want each of you to write down the name of the student that you think is holding back this class. Be honest." Kids start looking around. They're confused. And don't worry, this will be anonymous. They all write quietly. Slip by slip, she collects them, throws them into a box. Then she starts reading them out loud. Tyler, Tyler, Tyler. Sometimes Emma, but mostly Tyler. Tyler again. By the 10th one, Tyler's head is just on his desk. He can't believe this. "Well, Tyler, it looks like your classmates think you're the issue. You have anything to say to that?" He doesn't. Okay, so Monday you'll be sitting in the hallway during class, doing solo work until further notice, and the rest of the class just stared at him because Tyler had been quite literally democratically voted out of the class. That is actually insane. He wrote all of that down in that notebook? Yeah. Holy sh! Everyone at the school knew about Eli. Not because he was loud or popular, it was just the opposite actually. You see, Eli was just off. He wore the same hoodie every single day, carried one of those tiny spiral notebooks in his back pocket, and he was always scribbling in it during class. Like it'd be mid-lecture, he would just pause, start writing in this thing, and then he would stop, snap it closed, and stare ahead like nothing happened. Now, people assumed it was a sketchbook or he was writing stories or something, but the rumors started flying pretty quick. Some kids thought it was a hit list. Others thought he was writing creepy fan fiction. It got to a point where a teacher actually pulled him aside to ask him about it. Eli just said, "It's nothing bad, I just like to keep track of things." And for a while that was enough, until someone found one of the notebooks. It fell out of his pocket during gym class. Oh my god. Yo, Steven, is that what I think it is? Yup. And yeah, it wasn't a hit list, but it was weird. He had pages dedicated to different people. Not in a creepy way, more like stats. Stuff like, Jamie asks to borrow a pencil 3 times a week. Mr. Grant pretends he doesn't see phones on desks. Cafeteria, chicken sandwich rotation is every 6 days. It was like he was documenting the entire school. Patterns, routines, habits, everything. And the weirdest part, he was right. Everything he wrote down was dead on accurate. He had memorized the school's entire system and everybody in it. After that, people stopped making jokes. Because anytime somebody wanted to know something, like what day pizza was coming back, when Mr. Grant gave pop quizzes, what the fire drill schedule looked like, they didn't ask the office or the teachers. They asked Eli. So yeah, he wasn't a problem. He was a database. You are a sad excuse for a student. Can you please leave him alone? No. This happened in a 7th grade social studies class. You see, this teacher, she had a reputation. She didn't like to grade papers, so at the start of every class, students had to grade each other's papers for her, and it always had to be done in red pen. Well, one day this kid, quiet, he's kind of awkward, he has trouble focusing, probably like me, he's probably got ADHD. He asks the person next to him, "Hey, can I borrow a red pen?" Before he even gets an answer, the teacher snaps loudly, "Don't you dare give him a pen!" The whole class just stares. She just starts going off on him. You are a sad excuse of a student, too lazy to even remember your own pen? You will go nowhere in life if you can't remember basic supplies. You are an absolute disgrace. It doesn't stop. She keeps going 10 minutes, then 15 minutes. Pathetic. Worthless. Embarrassment. Other students are getting incredibly uncomfortable. Please leave him alone. Okay, miss, he gets it. Just please stop. But she doesn't. She continues to tear him down in front of everybody. And when it's over, he just sits there, red in the face, tears building in his eyes. Doesn't say a word for the rest of class. Multiple students reported this, parents called the school, but nothing happened. There were no consequences. No apology either. She kept teaching, and he just kept to himself. That is completely messed up. I'm not gonna say it again. One more sound out of you, Jason, and you're out of here. So one day in class, 2 kids are in the back of the classroom and they're whispering to each other. I told my cat that she's so funny when she does that. Dude, I have so much milk left over from last night. Suddenly, the teacher slams her hand on the desk and says, "Jason, that's enough." The whole class freezes, but here's the thing. Jason wasn't even talking. He's sitting there mid-pencil stroke like, huh? I'm not gonna say it again. One more sound out of you, Jason, and you're out of here. Now, a bunch of people saw who was actually whispering, but nobody said a word. Well, Jason takes the L in silence. The next day, there are some class presentations. Well, Jason walks up, he connects his slideshow, and slide 1 appears on the projector. The danger of classroom injustice. Oh boy, here we go. Then Jason starts reading from a flashcard. Let the record show, yesterday I was falsely accused of whispering. I was not whispering. I was taking notes. I was the victim. Slide 2, confirmed witnesses. He lists 3 classmates, first and last names, alphabetical order. Next slide, actual culprits. The final slide. And all I ask is for truth to matter again. Boom, presentation done. He gets a standing ovation. Even the teacher's smiling and laughing, and he gets a B+ on that assignment. The teacher then apologizes for accusing him of something he did not do. Respect. But this is kind of sad. There's this freshman kid at a new school. He's smart, he's quiet, but he's convinced that the only way people will like him is if he gives them something. So he gives everything. Answers for worksheets, extra help on projects. He does other people's homework to make it easier on them. People thank him in the moment, and they're grateful, but that's about it. Nobody actually wants to hang out with him. One day after school, he's venting to his mom. People only talk to me when I give them something, and then they never want to hang out with me. Saying stuff like how he thought he had friends, but it turns out he actually has none. She listens, and then blurts out words without even thinking. Well, maybe they don't hang out with you because you're basically a doormat. A doormat. He goes quiet and nods, and he goes to his room, and he cries himself to sleep. That's sad, dude. The pepperoni pizza's been eaten. How is that possible? It started with pizza. On pizza days, this cafeteria made only like 30 slices of pepperoni pizza. And when it was gone, it was gone. No backup, no mercy. And there was this one kid, let's call him Darren. He lived for that pizza. Yo, I live for that pizza. He would sprint to lunch every single pizza day just to make sure he gets it. Oh, yes. But one pizza day, he got to lunch a little late. And when he got to the front of the line, it's gone? Oh, man. Just cheese left. He was mad, but he held it in. The next pizza day, he left for lunch even earlier. He was jogging to the cafeteria, practically. I'm gonna get it this time. And again, gone. 2 pizza days in a row gone before he even got there. On the next pizza day, just as the lunch bell was ringing, the fire alarm went off. The whole school evacuated. They were pretty sure it was a standard fire drill. It took about 30 minutes to clear. All right, single file line, everybody out of the school, just to drill. Come on. Now, like I said, this happened right before lunch even started. But when they came back in, the lunch ladies noticed that somebody ate the pepperoni pizza. How was that possible? The pepperoni tray was supposed to be sealed. The full pan, it was half gone. Well, they were obviously super curious as to where this pizza went, so they checked the cameras. Darren, in the cafeteria alone, helping himself to a tray of pepperoni while the entire school was outside. The footage had a timestamp, 12:02. That's 2 minutes after the fire alarm went off. He was suspended on the spot, and there were rumors about legal charges. But nobody knows what really happened because the kid actually never came back to that school. All we know is Darren got his pizza. But at what cost? Mister, I need a pencil. Well, then you know what to do. There was this one English teacher at this one school that had a full-blown ritual just for handing out pencils. But it wasn't funny, it wasn't goofy, it was actually kind of unsettling. He called it the ceremony. And it happened every single time somebody asked for a pencil. You couldn't just say, "Can I borrow one?" You had to raise your hand and say, "I seek the tool of wisdom." And if you said it wrong, he would just stare at you, dead silent, until you said it right. Then he would unlock a little drawer, which he called the vault. He'd slowly remove one pencil and hold it up in the air, like it was sacred. Sometimes he would even close his eyes. Yes. And before he would hand it over, he would look at the entire class and go, "Together now? Use it well, write with honor." He said this binded the exchange. And if somebody in the class didn't say it with everybody, he would just hold onto the pencil and wait. And here's the part that really unsettled people. If you disrespected the ceremony, like if you laughed or whispered or rolled your eyes, he would mark your name down in a little red notebook. Didn't say anything, he just wrote your name down. And people swore. Every time he did that, there was a pop quiz the next day. Got to the point where people stopped forgetting to bring their pencils to class. Not because they were just more prepared, but because they were terrified to ask the teacher for one. Yo, when this kid was young, his parents told him, "Sweetie, your hamster got too big for its cage. We had to give him to a new home." Aww. He was like 8 years old and he believed it completely. He was devastated, but he eventually got over it. He just figured, well, Chester's out there somewhere. I hope he's happy. Fast forward a few years. Now, the kid's in middle school. One day, him and his older brother are arguing over something stupid. "Yo, I finished my homework early to play the PlayStation. Mom said I could." "I don't care, dude. I'm not getting off. I'm staying on this all night." "You're a freaking jerk, dude." "Yeah, well, you're a baby." It escalates. The kid then unplugs the PlayStation in the middle of a match, and his older brother freaks out. "You know what? You really think Mom and Dad gave your hamster to a new home?" "What? Yeah. Follow me outside." "What do you mean? Where are we going?" So now he's confused. The older brother leads them both outside. The older brother grabs a little shovel, and he begins digging in the middle of the yard. He really thought, oh my God, what's going on? There it is. The older brother pulls out this little knit bag. He opens it, and inside was the dead hamster. "See, look, it never went to a new home." "The cat frickin' killed it, and Mom and Dad lied to you." For the rest of his middle school career and high school, that little brother was a menace to both his parents and his older brother. He said he never forgave them. This kid's always the first one on the bus every single day. And he'd walk in and he would go directly to the back right bus seat. And he would do this because about 15 minutes into the route, there was this bump in the road that the bus would hit every day. And if you were in that back seat, it would launch you up. And it was awesome. And the driver knows this, so he would hit that bump at full speed. "It's coming, here it is." Well, he experienced it a bunch, and then he had a brilliant idea. Every day, people asked, ask, hey man, can I try that seat today? Bro, let me try that seat today, please. And when people ask, he starts saying, well, what do you got? One kid pulled out a Twinkie. All right, deal, have a seat. The next day, someone else says, I'll give you $2 for the seat today. Anyone got something better? I got Sour Patch Kid watermelons. Deal. He's auctioning off that seat every single morning. People are offering Doritos, money, their lunch desserts, their entire lunch. Whoever wins gets the launch, and the whole bus always counts down right before it's gonna happen. All right, you ready, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. And that, my friends, is awesome. This happened in the school cafeteria. There was a student with a severe peanut allergy, like the kind where touching residue would send him into complete shock. Everybody knew this, it was serious. But then there was this one kid, the class bully. One day at lunch, he pulls out a Reese's peanut butter cup. You know the ones. He eats it in front of this kid with the allergy, chewing it slowly on purpose. Hey man, quit messing around, man. Okay, keep away from me. Then he licks his finger. Hey. He starts chasing the allergy kid around the cafeteria. Come on, come here. One little touch, man. Stay away from me. He's laughing like it's just some game. And then he taps the kid on the arm. Within seconds, this kid's face starts swelling up. Eyes puffed shut, he falls to the ground gasping. The nurse rushes in, she uses the EpiPen, and he gets sent to the ER. He nearly died, pretty much. But the bully? 2-week suspension. That's it? That's it. That was it. The kid with the allergy's parents tried to press charges. But there was some kind of settlement. Turns out the bully's parents had a lot of money that they donated to the school. And the school buried this. Karma's gonna get that kid one day, I swear. That's messed up. This wasn't a field trip. It was a setup. Classroom, 12-year-olds, middle of math. All right, class, put your pencils down. We're going on a field trip. Wait, what? Where are we going? You'll see. Everybody line up. They line up, they walk outside the school, they walk down the road, they go through a fence, and then they see it. A vineyard. Isn't this a winery? I'm 12. Stay close. Are we like gonna study grapes or something? Shh. Just stay close. They get to the back of the winery, and they see this man. It was her husband. And right behind him was a woman. Another woman. The teacher turns to the class. Okay, everybody, that man is my husband. And that woman is who he's cheating with. Get a good hard look at the two. Stacy, what are you doing? Oh my god, they're on a field trip. That's cute. Shut up. Class, you all saw this, right? Okay, you are all my witnesses. And I want things out of the house by the end of the day. What? By the end of the day. The kids then line up again behind her and they walk back to school. That teacher then divorced her husband and she got remarried. And they are still together to this day. And they have a very happy marriage, so that's good. This happened in elementary school. A kid gets called out in class. Tyler, that is not appropriate. Go to the office. Then without a word, he stands up, sprints out of the classroom, and runs straight out the front school doors. And just like that, he's gone. The principal gets called. Yeah, we got a runner. They can't find him anywhere. 15 minutes later, the school's on full lockdown. People are starting to actually panic at this point. They call the kid's parents. They come, they're furious. They're freaking out. Where's my son? Where's my son? Police cars surround the building. A helicopter is hovering above. A freaking helicopter. They start searching the woods behind the school. Hours go by. A SWAT team looking unit shows up and they find him a mile away, sitting in a lonely patch of grass, eating a Snickers. Tyler, what are you doing out here, man? I got stressed and the Snickers, it helps me relax. I feel much better now, by the way. They escort him back. The kid got suspended and his parents had to take him to therapy for a bit. Had to figure out why he would do this in the first place, but still, that day is still known as the Great Tyler Lockdown. That's insane. B minus? That's just a B in a tuxedo. Oh, what? So this kid turns in an essay. He gets it back a few days later. A minus. Solid, clean grade. He's feeling good until he gets in the car and shows his mom. Why is it not an A plus? Oh no, it's still an A. An A minus is just a fancy B. You're rewriting it. So that night, he rewrites the entire thing. Adds more quotes, changes the intro, tightens everything up. Next day, he turns it in again. The teacher's confused, but she said she'll take a look at it. 2 days later, the same result. Still an A minus. He shows his mom. You are doing it again. You're joking, right? Not until you get 100. Fix your tone, fix your grammar, and fix your mindset. He rewrites it again, turns it in. This is the third version. And the teacher pulls him aside. Hey, why do you keep resubmitting this? Your paper was excellent. I know, I'm just trying to survive, ma'am. She gives him the exact same grade, A minus again. He turns it into his mom. She just sighs and says, I give up. You must have done something wrong. And that's the day he learned. Sometimes it's not about the grade. It's about your mom's permanent disappointment. Poor kid. This kid pulled a prank that caused the school so much trouble. And nobody ever found out it was him. It starts with him at a dollar store. He finds these bottles of concentrated bubble bath soap. This looks fun. Like a tiny amount of this stuff would make a ton of foam. This gives me an idea. So he buys a bunch of them, fills his entire gym bag. Now this kid knows the school's layout. He knows where all the cameras are. He knows where their cameras aren't. So one weekend he sneaks inside the building. We're in. He makes it secretly all the way to the pool. The school pool. Looks around, it's empty. Obviously, it's like 10 p.m. on a Saturday. He unzips his bag and he just starts dumping this bubble bath soap into the pool. Bottle after bottle. Then he just leaves. He doesn't stick around. Didn't even wait to see what happened. Well, flash forward to Monday. He gets to school, and there's literally foam everywhere, bursting through doors, filling the hallways. The entire pool room has foam up to the ceiling. Yo. The principal's freaking out. Cancel school! This is an emergency! The kids are laughing. The entire school is talking about this. But here's the thing that this kid did not think about. That foam doesn't just sit there. It gets into the filtration system, into the tubes, the pipes. The entire pool had to be shut down. For weeks. It had to be drained, rinsed, and drained like 4 times to make sure all the soap was gone. The biggest problem is that school was known for its water sports, so the polo team and the swim team had to change their entire schedules and share pools with different schools. And the craziest part, this kid didn't even tell anybody. The situation was so bad he couldn't even brag about it to his friends, so he just stayed silent. Until now. This school sold popcorn every Friday. Plain, no butter, no seasoning, just small, sad bags for $1. Well, one day, this kid Tyler shows up with a frickin' plan. He brings a small lunchbox to lunch, and inside, dozens of mini popcorn seasoning shakers. Ranch, nacho cheese, cinnamon sugar, literally anything. Hey, yo, can I use that, man? Totally, homie. $0.25 per shake. Now, at first, people thought this was kind of ridiculous. $0.25 for 1 shake of popcorn seasoning? But once people started trying it, it was game frickin' over. He would stand on top of the lunch tables, shaking seasonings into people's popcorn bags while kids are sliding and throwing him quarters. It was kind of bussin'. And Tyler wouldn't just stop there. If somebody was broke, he would say, I season it for you now, you bring me $0.25 tomorrow. Or else, I'm writing your name down, I don't forget. By the end of the month, all the popcorn was seasoned to perfection thanks to Tyler. One day, Tyler's counting out $20 in quarters when the principal comes up to him and says, we do not run seasoning businesses in this lunchroom. You're done. And he was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle, though. She banned calculators, then this happened. This teacher was a strict math teacher, one of those no calculator types, which is lame in my opinion because screw math. But anyway, class, you will never need a calculator if you're actually smart. She said that at least once a week, always with a little smirk. Like she's trying to be inspirational, but she just comes across as condescending. One day, she's flying through problems on the board. She's fast, she's confident, she's feeling herself. Okay, 12 times 6, that gives us 64. The kid in the back, Brady, raises his hand and goes, miss, you mean 72, right? Excuse me? Yeah, you said 12 times 6 is 64. It's 72, miss. She looks at the board and she slowly erases it and changes it to 72. Awkward. Then Brady from the back goes, maybe you should use a calculator. Yeah, miss. What now? She's actually dumb. Yeah. Use a calculator, idiot. You smell like my dad. I need a new egg. Oh God. You can use mine. It's physics class. This kid named Frank has a presentation, and he needs an egg for some reason. Well, he brings one from home. Just one. Well, before class even starts, he sees a kid in the hallway that he doesn't like, and his genius self decided to throw his only egg at this kid. He makes me so mad. Ew, what the heck? So now class is about to start, and he's just like, oh God, no, I don't have an egg anymore. I'm gonna fail. I need to find an egg. That's when some random kid who was walking by in the hallway stops and says this to him. You can borrow my egg, huh? He laughed, thinking it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. This kid pulls out a real egg, and it has a face drawn on it. This is my son, Leonardo. Be careful with him, please. I'm gonna meet you back here after class. He hands it over like it's a sacred little egg. Frank uses it for his presentation, and he passes. The egg doesn't break. But Frank was so relieved that this all went well, when he was getting up to leave the classroom, he accidentally knocked Leonardo on the ground, and Leonardo cracked. broke open. When he met the kid outside the classroom at the end, he just handed him bits of shells and yolk. Hey man, sorry, your egg broke. My bad, but thank you. Oh! Hey Leonardo! My boy! One day in history class, this teacher just frickin' lost it. He'd been on edge all week about kids' backpacks being in the aisles. He kept tripping over them. If I see one more backpack sticking out, we're gonna have a frickin' problem. Well, the next day, he sees one. He stops teaching and says this. All right, every one of you, backpacks in front of my desk right now. People are confused, but they start dragging him up and leaving their backpacks in front of his desk. Then he stands up, goes to the first backpack, unzips it, and then dumps the entire thing on the floor. Books, homework, snacks all fall out into this one messy pile. Yo, dude, that's my stuff. What are you doing? Shut your mouth. And one by one, he goes down the line, dumping out everybody's stuff into the same pile. Hey, what are you doing? You think I'm kidding? You think this is some frickin' joke? By the end, there's a mountain of student stuff covering half the classroom floor. Some kid takes a picture. Parents start calling the school before the day's even over. And the next morning, there's a substitute in his seat. Apparently, that was the last straw. And that teacher was fired. Hey, that's kind of messed up. Dad, I hit 1,000 subscribers. That's nice, son. This kid was grinding on YouTube, and he's excited. A couple months later, Dad, I have 10,000 subscribers. Whoa, you're really putting in some work. And then, oh my God, 20,000 subscribers. Congrats, buddy. Fast forward a couple weeks, the school calls the dad. Hi, hello there. This is the middle school. Your son hasn't been in school for 3 days. What? He is ticked off. The son comes in later. Hey, what's up, Pops? Where were you? I was at school. No, you weren't. Yes, I was. Give me your phone. Go to your room. He goes to his room and slams the door. Well, that was the last straw for his dad. The dad sits there for a second, fuming. His son's laptop is in the living room, and it's open and unlocked. So he goes in there. He goes to the YouTube channel, and he deletes permanently the entire YouTube channel his son has been working on. He then goes to his son's room and knocks. What? I deleted your YouTube channel, by the way. That should teach you a major lesson. You're kidding. I'm not. Oh my God, you're the worst dad ever. I hate you. Full-blown meltdown. This kid is losing it. He's crying. The dad thinks, good, this is a lesson for him. Then later, something feels off to him, so he calls the school. Hey, yeah, I just wanted to touch base about my son's absences. You guys called me, letting me know he missed the past 3 days of school, but the secretary's like, we didn't call you, sir. And your son's been here all week. He's got perfect attendance. What? That can't be true. So now he's scrolling the call log. The number that called him wasn't the school's number. And that's when everything unfolds. A couple of kids called him as a prank. His son was at school and he deleted his YouTube channel for nothing. But now he can't take it back. And his son didn't talk to him for months. The second he turned 18, moved out. So this mom sends her son to preschool. He's 5. Super nice kid, and he loves the lunches she packs for him. They're not normal lunches or whatever, but they're his favorites. Celery sticks with blue cheese and goat cheese, a little bit of kimchi and spam, they're Korean, and a few spicy Doritos tossed in sriracha. What a bold lunch. And honestly, that sounds freaking awesome. Let's go. Anyway, a few hours after she picked him up one day, she gets a call from the teacher, and the teacher doesn't even try to be nice. Hi, yeah, I need you to stop packing your son such disgusting and inappropriate lunches. The mom's like, excuse me? Yes, they're distracting other students, they smell disgusting, and they are just definitely not school appropriate. And keep in mind, this is preschool. And this teacher's going full-on Gordon Ramsay about a 5-year-old's lunch. The mom is stunned. She says this, look, I know it's not the healthiest, but he loves it. It's some of what he eats at home, and it's just comforting for him. Well, it's making the classroom uncomfortable. So the mom wraps it up like a professional. I appreciate your concern, lady, but I am not going to completely change my son's lunches just because some other students are distracted by what he eats. Okay, bye. And she hangs up. For real though, where does this teacher get off? An hour later, ding, an email from the teacher. This email is saying that the mom's response was unacceptable and that these lunches are just too inappropriate to be sent to school anymore. What? Celery, goat cheese, blue cheese, kimchi, spam, what is wrong with that? This teacher banned a 5-year-old's lunch because she is an ignorant piece of work. Yeah. genius. So this kid had leftover candy from Halloween, suckers, sweets, stuff like that. And at first he brought a little bag to school to share with his friends. But then other kids started asking, yo, let me get a little taste. Do you have that ding dong? More and more kids started asking him for his candy or his treats. So he flips a switch and turned it into a business. He calls it the 25-cent store. Every item's a quarter. Well, he makes about 50 bucks in a week. So he reinvests this money. He goes to the dollar store. He buys bags and bags of candy and brings it back to school. He raises prices and he keeps selling. All right, brand new inventory, but this time it's 75 cents each. But it's worth it, I promise. And still, he sells out. From that batch, he ends up making $144. And he's not done. He still has more product. And he plans to invest this money. But then a teacher comes up to him. Excuse me, why are kids handing you quarters? Hi. That's what I thought. That teacher shut him down. It was over. The thing is, it was a harmless business, and people actually liked this service. Teachers just don't like kids to succeed these days, huh? Warfare at the winter dance. At this one school, there was this kid named Evan. Yo, quiet, organized, he got straight A's. And this year, he finally had this big job. He was gonna plan the entire winter dance. And this guy had ideas. Lighting cues, playlist drafts, themed decorations. He had a binder filled with these ideas. He presents his ideas to the student government. So, what do you think? And this one girl named Kelsey grabs the binder, flips through it, and goes, yeah, no, this is ugly. Then she throws it straight into the trash can. You're done, I'll be taking it from here. And she does, she takes over everything. And Evan gets pushed to the side like an unpaid intern. He's very upset. The only thing Evan was allowed to do was run the technical side of things that night. And that included the fog machines. Fog machines that basically run on a water-based formula. Fog machines sit on the table, unguarded. So Evan shows up to the dance. Second it starts, he goes by the fog machines. He opens all of the tanks and he dumps a full bottle of pure peppermint extract into each of the fog machine tanks. The second the lights go down, he turns every fog machine to max. Dancing starts, the DJ's playing the tunes, the fog was beginning to thicken, and before you know it, the gym turns into a pure peppermint hurricane. My eyes! Kids coughing, eyes burning, teachers screaming, the principal's like, chemical leak, everyone get out! The fire alarm gets pulled, the dance evacuates, and now half the school is standing outside in the freezing cold. Who did this? This was my dance. Evan, crazy enough, didn't try to hide it. Yeah, but it was my dance first. Evan wasn't suspended, he was expelled. When the janitors cleaned the gym the next day, the peppermint was still so strong, they all had to wear goggles. And the smell lingered in that gym for literal years. That is insane. If you can't eat it, you need to wear it. This kid's parents had this unbelievably weird dinner rule. Every night at dinner, if you refused to eat your food or you got full before your plate was finished, you had to wear your food. I don't want to eat my peas. Put the peas in your hair. Or, I'm too full to eat these mashed potatoes. Then rub the mashed potatoes all over your head. Apparently, this kid's parents thought this was teaching him discipline or something. One night, this kid refused to eat his green beans. I don't want to eat them. And I can't eat my spaghetti either, I'm so full. Well, then you better line up each and every one of those green beans in that ugly mullet of yours. And make sure you drape all the noodles over your head as well. You know the rules in my house. So he puts it all on his head. And the thing is, they wouldn't let him shower after this until right before he went to bed. So God forbid they had guests come over. What is he gonna say to him? Sorry, I smell and look weird. My parents made me mush all my food all over my body. Oh, that's actually super messed up. So you're all just gonna roast me? It's called growth, sweetie. This one mom had a rule for birthdays. No cake, no presents, not until after the truth session. Every year, the birthday kid had to sit in the middle of the living room, while each family member, siblings, parents, sometimes even grandma, went around and shared one thing they did not like about the birthday kid. You interrupt too much. You always finish the milk and leave the carton in the fridge. I hate you, grandson. It was a roast, but it wasn't funny. One year, this kid Daniel, he turned 11. He walked into the living room already nervous. All right, let's begin. First up was his little sister. You yelled at me when I was on your Minecraft world. Then his mom. You've gotten lazy with your posture this year. Then Dad. You've been selfish lately, son. Just think about that. Daniel's eyes start to water. Oh no, don't cry. This is to help you, not to hurt you. You may have your cake now. Go. And he barely touched the cake. The next year, Daniel pretended to be sick on his birthday to try to get out of this whole thing. But the mom just moved the truth session to his room, and they did it bedside. They said it was character building. He said it was the worst tradition of his life. The locker was jammed. 3 different kids tried the combo. It wasn't working. A teacher comes up, tries to figure it out, nothing. That's when one sophomore stands there, looks, and says, "Step aside." He doesn't even glance at the paper that has the combo on it. He just stares at the lock for a second, pulls out a paper clip, and goes to town. Boom. First try, it opens. Oh my god, finally, thank you. That was actually awesome, dude. Now, this was the first day of school, so the hallways were hectic. Everyone trying to get in their lockers. There's books, papers, book bags everywhere. Well, he just turns around and says, "Anybody else?" 5 minutes later, he's walking the halls like some kind of locksmithing expert. He's opening jammed lockers left and right, even helping teachers open their cabinets. Jammed? There you go. Jammed? There you go. He quickly became the locker guy. Turns out his older brother and his dad had their own locksmithing company, so he literally grew up opening locks. No rules broken, no locks damaged, just a nice guy helping people out. And you gotta respect it. Attendance office. Yeah, I'm calling about the high school for sale. Excuse me? So this kid lists the entire high school on Craigslist. Yep, puts it up there just like a house. Multiple acres, Olympic-sized track, full gym, swimming pool, great natural light. And for the contact number, he puts down the attendance office on purpose because everyone hated the receptionist. So for the next 3 days, she's just picking up like, "Attendance office. Yeah, I saw the listing for the property. Is it still available?" What listing? The high school for sale with a pool? Call after call, people asking for showings. One guy said, "Yeah, I'm thinking about turning the gym into my own personal dojo. And hey, maybe you could even stop by once it's ready. What do you say, huh? You, me, champagne? Huh?" Oh my god. It got so bad the school had to change the number of the attendance office permanently because these calls kept coming in. And the kid, he never confessed. To that school, he remained anonymous. And there were some copycat Craigslist ads after that, so the calls never really stopped for a while. It eventually fizzled out, but every time that phone rang, the receptionist's heart would sink. That's actually hilarious. It's the middle of summer. No breeze, just that sticky sidewalk melting heat. And then the ice cream truck song. Every kid in the neighborhood stops when they hear it. Oh my god, it's here, guys, it's here! Yes! But it wasn't the ice cream truck. It was just Tyler, 11 years old, Bluetooth speaker in one hand and a cooler on wheels in the other. He's playing the ice cream jingle off a YouTube video. It just started walking the block. Well, kids come running out with cash. "Wait, are you selling?" "Yep, got the stuff in my cooler. The prices are on the lid." He flips open the cooler. He's got everything. SpongeBob pops, those like bomb pops, the strawberry shortcake ones, all perfectly frozen, bought in bulk from Costco. This kid is killing it. And the thing is, he would undercut the prices of the actual ice cream truck by $1, so his stuff was cheaper. By week 2, people were texting him to have them come by their house or their birthday party. It was a full-blown business. The real ice cream truck, out of respect, stopped showing up to this neighborhood altogether. This kid turned a Bluetooth speaker and a cooler full of ice cream into a full-blown empire, and that summer he made over $500. You gotta respect the hustle.
This kid and his mom and dad were kayaking one day and they get home late. They park at the lake house and they leave the kayak strapped to the top of the car. Nobody thought twice about it. Well, this kid is waking up at 3 in the morning. His dad's creeping into his room. "Dad, what's going on?" His dad, peeking out the window, says, "Shh. Don't move." The mom then appears, dead serious. "Come on." They head downstairs and the dad gets on the phone with 911.
911, what's your emergency?
And then the front door slams open so hard, the entire house hears it, and the mom's voice blasts, "Drop that kayak right now!" The kid's peeking through the blinds, and there she is, barefoot, standing in the driveway, holding a large butcher knife, screaming at 3 grown men who are literally trying to steal the kayak from the top of the car. They also have knives. The dad sees this happening, and he freaks out. But hold on, 1 second. "Sandy, what are you doing?" The mom's out there just slashing this knife around. The 3 thieves freak out, and they run away into the woods. The police finally arrive. "So what happened here?" "Here's a knife. I scared them away. They were trying to steal the kayak. Now talk to my husband. I'm going to bed." And that was that. What a freaking legend.
Oh, my AirPods are nasty. I can clean them for a price. This started in 7th grade. Everybody had AirPods, but nobody would clean them, except this one kid. This kid had a pencil bag full of Q-tips. I made fun of him until one day this girl's looking at her AirPods and she says, "Ugh, there's like gunk in here. It's disgusting." And he goes, "I can clean that, $1. She laughs, but he's already pulling out his cleaning kit. Toothpick, soft cloth, Q-tip, disinfectant swab. He's wiping it down like a surgeon. There. Oh my god, they look brand new. I know. Next day during lunch, a line is forming. People are handing over cash. You do pros too? Absolutely. What about these? Bro, these are knockoffs. I'll do them for 50 cents for you. Like I said, he keeps the tools in a pencil case and he has his cleaning services during lunch. He even sprays them with a minty finish. Then the math teacher walks up. Hey boyo, I hear you're the kid that cleans the AirPods. You heard right. Can you do these? Yeah. And Mr. Johnson, for you, these are on the house. By the end of the semester, he had made $180 from this business, which is a little over 180 AirPods cleaned. And he made all this money from cotton swabbing earwax out of AirPods. You gotta respect the hustle. This class was visiting colleges. They were all on a bus to visit one of these local colleges. Well, this junior was sitting by his girlfriend. Now, these two have been dating forever. Everyone knew them as that couple. But halfway through the bus ride, and Kevin, we gotta talk. She breaks up with him on the bus. I can't do this anymore. You're an embarrassment to me. I have bigger things I want to do with my life. And you're going to hold me back. I'm done. We are done. Oof. And he's just taking it. She finally stops talking and he's just sitting there staring out the window. 5 minutes go by. Then he quietly stands up, lowers the window gap as far as it'll go, shimmies his way out, and jumps out of the bus while it's moving. The bus is going 35 miles per hour on the highway. Everyone's panicking. Stop the bus! Stop the bus! Oh my god, he jumped! What happened? Well, I broke up with him. He said he didn't want to be on this trip with me, and he jumped out the window. So, not my fault. Now, this kid was fine. When he jumped out, he landed on this big pile of grass on the side of the highway. Just some scrapes and bruises. But when he landed, he just stood up and just ran into the woods. Full sprint. Backpack on and everything. They had to call his parents. His parents came to the side of the road where the bus was at. Staff was sent into the woods to go find him, and they found him, sitting by a creek on a log, crying softly to himself. Hey buddy, you okay? I love her so much. Leave me here. Leave me here. It was supposed to be a normal lunch period, but 5 minutes later, the principal was on the floor. This happened at a high school. Two senior girls lock eyes. You told him I cheated? Yeah, because you did. People are starting to notice what's going down. The cafeteria gets quiet. One of the girls picks up a carton of chocolate milk and dumps it on the other girl's head. And it begins. The hair pulling, the smacking. Get off me. You are so done. Lunch trays are flying around, people are backing up. The principal comes running in. Hey, break it up. That's when one of the bigger of the seniors just clocks him right in the gonads. He drops, the whole cafeteria gasps, and then she climbs on a table. You want drama? I'll give you drama. No. A full-blown elbow drop. Kids are screaming, some are cheering, most of them are recording, and that was the day of lunchroom beef turned into a full-blown wrestling match. Nobody forgot that day, ever. Especially the principal. You wrote her up for being sad? She was off task. She was human! You should try it sometime. So this girl's having a rough week. Family stuff, friend drama, just life. She sits down in third period. Math class. Doesn't say a word, just starts doing her warm-up problems, but tears are falling from her eyes, quiet and soft. The teacher then walks over to her. Hi, do you need to go to the nurse? Or are you gonna disrupt my class all period? The girl doesn't respond, she just wipes her face and keeps writing. All right, disruption it is. She writes her up. A full-blown referral. Disruption to learning environment. Ignoring teacher. She then sent her out into the hallway. Not the counselor, not the nurse, to the hallway. And told her to stay there. Later, she shows her mom the slip. Oh my god, sweetie, this is not okay. They punished you for having feelings? The next morning, the mom shows up to the front office. She then walks to the classroom. Class has already started. The teacher looks up. Oh, so crying is disruptive now? You ever heard of empathy, or did they leave that out of your training? This isn't the time or the place. No, I think it is. You humiliated my daughter for feeling something, and you made it public when you wrote her up in front of the entire class. The students are dead silent. Some of them on the edge of their seat like they're watching a frickin' courtroom drama. Print a new referral, this time with your name on it. Come on, sweetie, let's go. And she takes her daughter home for the rest of the day. Please tell me y'all don't have teachers like this. Because that's messed up. Yo, this backfired. This happened during a school test. This kid's about to get started, but this girl, his bully, says this to him right before. Hey, loser, I'm gonna cheat off you. This is the same girl that's been bullying him for years. But this time he has a plan. He just says, sure. Well, what this girl didn't know was that this kid got extra time on exams. So on test days, when class ends, most kids leave, but he still has an extra 30 minutes to finish the test. I had this in school as well. So here's what he did. The exam starts, and she's cheating off his test. Answer for answer, identical. Well, for the first hour of the exam, he's answering everything wrong. Even the short answers. Stuff like, what is inflation? He puts, when a balloon gets bigger. So the second she finishes copying, she stands up, turns her test in, and done. Thanks, idiot. And walks out of the room all cocky, super smug. Well, at this point, everybody else had left, and now he begins his extra test time. He erases his entire test and fills everything back in with the correct answers. Perfect. A week later, they get their test back. He gets 100%. She gets a 0 because he purposely made every question completely wrong. This makes no sense. What's wrong? Oh, 0? That sucks. I got 100. Who's the idiot now? Hey, don't underestimate me. She was so mad, but from that day on, she rarely bullied him anymore because obviously this kid was 10 steps ahead. He's a genius for this. This school had a villain, a mayonnaise villain. Every few days, students would be walking up the main staircase when you would hear, ugh, gross. Somebody would scream, hold up their hand, and it would be covered in mayonnaise. The mayonnaise wouldn't be on top of the railing, it would be underneath. It started in the cafeteria stairwell. Then it spread. Math hallway, science wing became a problem. You'd think that they would install cameras or that they would have cameras in the stairwells, but they didn't. So now everyone's terrified of touching railings because obviously some kid has been taking mayonnaise and smearing it under the railings in every single staircase in the school. And it wasn't like a little bit of mayonnaise. It was a lot. Kids are just walking up the stairs now with their hands to their sides because no one's gonna touch that stuff. And nobody knows who's doing this. The janitors are mad. The teachers are furious. The principal makes an announcement. Please, whoever's putting mayonnaise under the railings, stop it! It never stops. There was breaks for a few months, but it never stopped. Until one day, it did, 2 years later. And people assume it's because the mayonnaise bandit graduated. But even still, after that, the legend lives on forever. That's disgusting. This kid ran a genius hustle. So at this one school, if your phone ended up in the lost and found, it stayed there until the parents of that student picked it up. That was the rule. If they took your phone, you were not getting it back. Then this kid named Marcus starts a business. $10 and I'll get your phones back before 6th period. Bro, what? They're in the front office. Yeah, well, Marcus had an older cousin that worked in the front office. And every day during lunch, Marcus would go to the office to say hi to his cousin. And when he did that, his cousin would quietly hand him a phone wrapped in a napkin. Hey, what's up, cousin? Oh, hey, Marcus, hope you're having a good lunch. Here is your snack I brought you. Good man. And nobody noticed. He had a group chat, phone retrieval services. You would DM him what class you lost your phone in and what your phone case looked like. He even had tiers. $10 for standard pickups during lunch, $15 if you had to go to the office during class, it's a bit more risky, and $20 if you get caught again the next day. It became this underground thing. But here's the twist. Eventually the principal finds out about this. He made a deal. I won't punish you, but for this next week, every single time someone messages you to do this, give me their name. Fine. He became a freaking informant, and for that next week, he busted a lot of kids. Eventually, they found out that he had flipped and his business was completely washed. But still, I guess you gotta respect the hustle. This teacher's so mean. This kid was 12 years old and he was trying really hard in art class. Whole week he's working on this fruit bowl sketch. He's carefully shading it, blending colors, he's doing his best. Well, he's getting almost close to being done and he's proud of this. He walks up to the teacher and he says, "Hey, Miss Reynolds, you think I'm doing okay on this?" She takes one look, she smirks, and says this out loud in front of the entire class. It would be good if a 5-year-old did it. What? You heard me? No one even laughs at this. Even the class clown is sitting there in complete silence, just looking at him. He goes back to his desk, his face is red, and he just rips the painting in half. He didn't turn in another project the rest of the year. Even when he had to, he would just scribble something random on a piece of notebook paper and turn that in. Because why even try when the person who grades you talks to you like that? She killed his confidence and she made him hate what he used to love doing. And that is no way to be a teacher, so screw that lady. If you talk, I'm writing your name down, and you sit alone tomorrow. Understand? At this one small town school, the lunchroom rule was brutal. No talking at all. If you talked, your name went on the small board, and you had to sit alone by yourself at lunch the next day. Well, there was this one menace of a kid named Owen, and Owen was trying to cause some trouble. Watch this. He decided to drop a bunch of money in front of this one kid sitting down eating his lunch. The kid goes, "Oh, hey, is this yours?" Name on the board, alone tomorrow. This kid's a menace. He never says a word, but every single lunch period, he's trying to trap kids into talking. And people are falling into this trap. He's flicking food at people, accidentally bumping trays onto the ground, straight up kicking kids in the shin. What the? And the teachers think Owen's a saint. Every time they look over, he's just sitting there, arms crossed, smirking. By the end of the month, the quiet lunch board is full every single day, with kids spread apart all over the cafeteria because they were sitting alone, except for Owen. Eventually, the school's like, that's it. This is obviously not working, so we're getting rid of this rule. And the rule was gone, and it was all because of Owen. What a frickin' rascal. She's not breathing. I'm calling 911. This happened junior year. Middle of class, the teacher collapses. Hits the ground hard. It wasn't a fall. It was a full-blown cardiac arrest. One student jumps up, grabs their phone and dials 911. Yes, my teacher collapsed. I don't think he's breathing. Can they guide him while he gives chest compressions? Stay with me, teach. Stay with me, teach. Ambulance comes, they take the teacher's life is saved, and guess what the school does? They suspend that student. You're suspended, you broke the rules. School staff is supposed to approve all emergency calls. Are you kidding me? That was the actual policy. If something happened, you were supposed to go find a school admin, report the crisis, wait for a call to be authorized, and then somebody can call 911. Like, it doesn't make any sense. This kid's teacher was literally dying on the floor, and he got in trouble for calling 911 to save his life. And get this, later that same year, another kid has a seizure, cracks their head on the floor, the whole class is screaming, and it takes the school 30 minutes to approve the call. Sounds like they didn't really care about emergencies. They cared about control, and that is so messed up. The school made an announcement. Redesign the school logo and turn it in. The winner's logo gets to be the official logo. Every art kid in the school goes feral. People busted out their iPads, sketchbooks. They're working really hard on trying to create this new school logo. But then there's Evan, Shibby. Evan doesn't care. His friend dared him to make something and turn it in. So Evan designs the dumbest thing that he could think of. A circle with a weird looking bird inside of it that looks like it's mid-sneeze. That's so dumb. Here, he submits it. A week later, the principal gets on the school intercom. We have chosen our new school logo. Everyone report to the gym. Everyone goes to the gym. Everyone's eager to see whose logo made it. They did a countdown. 3, 2, 1. And then they projected it. It's Evan's frickin' doodle. The bird, the circle, the sneeze. The whole gym goes dead silent. And then everybody erupts. Oh, bro's a genius. Yo, Evan cooked. Make him class president. Teachers are clapping. They print it out on shirts. It's being sold at the sports games. It's on the website. It's on the gym floor. This logo is everywhere. And Evan becomes an absolute frickin' legend. I'm a frickin' legend. This is absolutely insane. So Rampart High School was a blue ribbon school. Good grades, solid reputation, but they had barely any money. So the principal has an idea to rent out the gymnasium to make some extra cash. And someone comes up, they want to use it on a Saturday. They say it's just a small event. The guy says, yeah, it's for a church dance, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., 1,000 people max. Well, Saturday night hits, and it's a full-blown rave. Lights, fog machines, thumping bass, it's packed. Over 5,000 people show up. People are drinking, there's a bunch of other crazy stuff going on. And this isn't just a rumor, it was on the news. Here's the article. See, 5,000 people. What is this? The superintendent said this was a major mistake and that they were manipulated by these guys. The rave went on from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. all frickin' night. The company that threw the rave said that they never lied and that kids will be kids, but come on, who would do this? After the rave, the gym was completely destroyed. And I mean like destroyed. The floors, the bleachers, everything. The gym could not be used for the rest of the school year. People start calling the school Rave Part instead of Rampart. And whenever a student from the school's choir sings the national anthem at a school event, they always end it with this. And the home of the rave. Oh home of the rave. It started with a rule. The dress code is to promote professionalism. No crop tops, no tank tops, no ripped jeans. Girls' pants can't be above their ankles. Some real crazy dress code stuff. Well, this girl had enough, and she wants to do something about it. So one day, she shows up to school in a full-body horse costume. Yes, I know it's a llama mask, but I don't have a horse mask, so bear with me. Mane, hooves, tail, covered head to toe. And technically, this horse costume followed every single rule. That's not professional. Show me where it says no horses. They couldn't do anything, because there was no rule in the handbook that said no costumes or no horses. There was no skin showing, her ankles were covered by the horse costume. Like I said, she knew the handbook better than the teachers and the principal did. But the thing is, the teachers were obsessed with this. One teacher would bring her carrots every morning. Hey, horse girl, I got a carrot for you. That's hilarious. One teacher said, you're my hero. Even the lunch lady would start neighing whenever she saw her. She wore this horse costume every single day for 3 straight weeks. But then the school finally added a new rule. No costume wear. This teacher straight up embarrassed herself. Back in 3rd grade, this teacher was doing a lesson on animals. So, can anybody name me a mammal? This one kid, we'll call him Mason, raised his hand excitedly. Oh, a platypus! The teacher kind of frowned. No, sweetie, mammals don't lay eggs, and platypuses lay eggs. It's a bird. You are wrong. Mason looked confused, but the platypus is a mammal. Don't you argue with me, it's unbecoming. I'm not arguing, now you're being disrespectful. Mason just sat there quietly. But that night, he did some work of his own. The next day, Mason came into school with printouts, scientific articles, diagrams, highlighted textbook pages. This kid had evidence. He was ready to prove this teacher wrong. So in class, he walked right up to her desk, and in front of the entire class, he said, "Excuse me? Just so you know, the platypus is a mammal. Look, it lays eggs, but it still makes milk, and that's what makes it a mammal." I've been teaching for 15 years. I think, yeah, and you've been wrong for every single one of them. Boom. Class exploded. At this point, the teacher was fuming. Go to the office now. But when he explained what happened to the principal, even the principal was like, yeah, man, you're right. Platypus is a mammal. And he didn't get in trouble at all. After that day, Mason never got another question wrong in that class because she never called on him again. Presentations are today? I'm screwed. Hey, come here. I got you. This kid had over 200 PowerPoints just sitting on a flash drive. Every single one of them he made for fun. But then he turned it into a genius business. This started around 8th grade. This kid named Liam, quiet kid, kept to himself. For some reason, this guy was obsessed with making PowerPoint presentations. The history of water slides, the rise and fall of AOL, why birds might be smarter than we think. Just anything. At first, everyone thought it was just his thing, like his little quirk, until one day someone forgets to do their presentation for a class. Kids in full panic mode. What's the presentation on? Invasive species. I've got one on killer bees. Does that work? That's perfect. Kid turns it in, changes the title slide, and boom, he gets a B. That works. And just like that, it begins. He starts selling them PowerPoints on every single topic. Historical events, weird science, fast food history, literally anything. $10 per presentation and $15 if you had to have him customize it a little bit. He called it the vault. Some of them people bought didn't even make any sense for what they had to turn in, but it was still better than nothing. By the end of the year, he had made over $500 doing this, and he says he plans to keep on doing it because he just loves making PowerPoints and he doesn't see himself ever stopping. So the supply is endless. You gotta respect the hustle.
বাইকটা নিচে রাখা আছে।
সকালে উঠিয়া আমি মনে মনে বলি
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম সালাম।
প্রত্যেকদিন বাচ্চাদের পড়ান?
সবাইকে কি বলছি, বাসায় গিয়া এই পড়াটা পড়তে হবে, ঠিক আছে? এখন ছুটি, বাসায় যাও। আপনাকে অনেকবার বলছি এরকম রাস্তাঘাটে আমার সাথে কথা বলবেন না, বিরক্ত করবেন না।
কেন?
লোকটা কে?
আমি জানতাম তুমি রাজি হবে।
আপনি কে?
আপনার অঞ্চলের খাবার অসাধারণ।
তাই তো বলি, কেন ফোন যায় না? না, তোমার নাম্বারটা তাড়াতাড়ি করে বলো।
ঘন্টার পর তো গার্লফ্রেন্ডের লেগে ওয়েট করতে পারো, আর বন্ধুর লেগে 2 মিনিট ওয়েট করতে পারবা না?
ও, এখন আমার দোষ, তাইলে তো বন্ধু রিত লেগে গেল।
আরে বেটা, এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা
বাদ দে, কালকে 4টা দেখা হবে।
ঠিক আছে মামা।
ঠিক আছে মামা,
ঠিক মতো যা।
শালা পারলাম না রে। আরে তোর তো হাওয়াটা একটু হয়ে গেল। তুলি, তুই তো সুন্দর নাম। আরে শুন, আমি জিসান, আই লাভ ইউ।
আপনাদের তো চিনলাম না। আমার বড় বোনের যে দেবরগুলো আছেন তো সবাইকেই চিনি, বাট আপনাদেরকে তো চিনি না।
যাইতে দে, আর আমার খালা লাগে। কোথায় বলতা? ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা, জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো? বান্ধবীও তো যায় না, এতবার ফোন দিলাম ফোনও ধরতেছে না। তুমি একটা ফোন দাও তো, ফোন বের করো।
কি বলেন দুলা ভাই, ও যায় নাই? কথা হইছে, ভাইয়া বলছে যে ভাইয়া আমাদের কোচিং এর সামনে আর আসবে না, আর তোকে ডিস্টার্বও করবে না।
জানো না? কারণ না, আমি 1 থেকে 3 গুনবো না বাবা। প্রেম হইলেই হবে, প্রেম হইলে এমনি ডিস্টেন্স হবে বাবা। আমার খালি ওরে দরকার। তুমি পড়ো, ঘুমাও তাইলে। গুড নাইট আর বাই।
সহজে কোনো কিছু পাওয়ার মজা নাই, কিন্তু আমগো দোষ জিসান কি কম।
ও
ভাবি লাগে বেটা, লজ্জা লাগে না?
কি ওর কথা বাদ দে,
তুই পারো, তুই যা।
জামুই তো। তুই চুপ থাক।
আমি তো আপনাকে চিনি না।
চিনো না যে আজকে চিনলা, আরো চিনবা, আস্তে আস্তে চিনবা। আর শুনো,
আরে বেন সাহেব, নতুন নতুন সম্বন্ধ তো তাই চিনতে পারেন নাই। ওই যে আপনার বান্ধবী তুলি আছে না?
আমার তাহলে বিশাল বিপদ। আমি তাহলে কোচিং এ কেমনে যাব, পড়াশোনা কিভাবে করব? আমার তো ভয় লাগতেছে।
কি খবর?
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর? 3, 2, 1। আর আজকে রাত 10টা, হ্যাঁ?
রক্ত কেন?
ইতিহাস লিখবো, ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস।
ভালো আছি, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
আমি তো ভালো আছি। তো তোমার বোন কোথায়?
আচ্ছা, একটা মিনিট, আমি কল দিচ্ছি।
এক রাতে ভালো হয়ে গেল, এটাও আমার বিশ্বাস করতে হবে? দোস্ত, আমার না ভয় লাগতেছে।
এই কি করবি? চেনা চেহারা না হলো কি চেহারা, কথা তো বেশি চেহারা ওরকম বেশি।
আপনি না শুই না না দেখা সব জানা ফেলছেন বাবা।